When crisis strikes, the line between chaos and control is drawn by preparation. It's a mindset forged not in the moment of disaster, but through deliberate learning and practice. Understanding how to manage your health is the cornerstone of resilience. Whether you're lost in the wilderness or navigating a citywide blackout, true preparedness extends beyond a simple bug-out bag. It is a deep-seated knowledge of medical, biological, and botanical principles that can mean the difference between life and death. This is about empowering yourself with the skills to face the unexpected, transforming fear into confidence and vulnerability into strength. By mastering these essentials, you build a foundation of self-reliance that will serve you in any scenario. Medical emergencies are a statistical certainty in any prolonged crisis. The ability to provide immediate, effective first aid is a non-negotiable skill. Your kit should be more than just a collection of bandages. It must be a comprehensive toolkit for managing the most common injuries you're likely to face. Cuts and lacerations require immediate attention to prevent infection. This means thoroughly cleaning the wound with sterile water or an antiseptic wipe, applying an antibiotic ointment and covering it with a sterile dressing. For sprains, the Rice method, rest, ice, compression, and elevation, remains the gold standard for reducing swelling and pain. Burns, a frequent risk when dealing with fire or improvised cooking, must be cooled immediately with running water and protected with a clean, non-stick covering. Beyond treating injuries, your medical knowledge must include managing pain with over-the-counter relievers and recognizing the early signs of infection, such as redness, swelling, or warmth, which demand vigilant care. Beyond immediate injuries, your long-term health depends on managing biological threats. In an environment where modern sanitation has failed, your greatest enemies are often microscopic. Securing a safe water source is your absolute first priority. Never assume that water from a stream or tap is safe to drink without purification. Methods like boiling for at least 1 minute using a reliable water filter, or treating with purification tablets are essential to eliminate dangerous bacteria and viruses. Food safety is equally critical. You must protect your supplies from pests and spoilage through proper storage in sealed, rodent-proof containers. Practicing rigorous personal hygiene, especially hand washing with soap and water or an alcohol-based sanitizer, is one of the most effective ways to prevent the transmission of disease. A simple lapse in these disciplines can quickly lead to widespread illness, incapacitating you and your group when you can least afford it. When modern supplies run dry, the natural world can provide both a pharmacy and a pantry, but only for those who know how to read its language. Botanical knowledge is a powerful but dangerous tool. The first rule is absolute certainty in identification. If you are not 100% sure what a plant is, do not consume it. Start by learning to identify a handful of common, easily recognizable edible plants in your local area, like dandelions, plantain, or wild berries. Study their key features, their lookalikes, and where they typically grow. Alongside edibles, nature offers a wealth of medicinal herbs. For example, yarrow has been used for centuries to help control bleeding, while the inner bark of a willow tree contains salicin, the natural compound from which aspirin was derived. This knowledge is not about replacing a modern pharmacy, but supplementing your capabilities for treating minor ailments like headaches, indigestion, or small wounds when conventional options are unavailable. Ultimately, knowledge is useless without practice. True preparedness is an active, ongoing process, not a passive state achieved by buying gear. It is the muscle memory built by repeatedly practicing how to tie essential knots, how to start a fire in damp conditions, and how to read a map and compass. It is the confidence gained by spending a weekend using only the items in your pack. Take the time to create a detailed plan, discuss it with your family, and run drills. Study your region, identify potential resources and risks, and continuously refine your strategy. The prepared mind is not one that foresees every possible outcome, but one that has trained itself to be adaptable, resourceful, and calm under pressure. This commitment to continuous learning and hands-on practice is the final and most important layer of your preparation.
Across the span of human history, few collections of texts have been as influential or as contentious as the Old and New Testaments. While traditionally viewed through a lens of faith, what if we were to set aside the divine and the dogmatic? What if we approach these ancient scriptures not as holy writ, but as a vast, complex library of human experience? Today, we are not on a theological quest. We are on a mission of survival, exploring the practical wisdom embedded within these narratives to navigate the challenges of our modern, secular world. At the very core of these texts, we find powerful blueprints for resilience. Consider the epic sagas of exile and return, of famine and feast, When we strip away the miraculous elements, we are left with stories of profound human perseverance. They demonstrate the sheer force of will required to endure long journeys, rebuild shattered communities, and maintain hope in the face of overwhelming odds. These are not just tales of divine favor, but case studies in psychological fortitude and the indispensable value of community. They show us that leaning on one another, sharing burdens, and maintaining a collective purpose are fundamental survival strategies, as relevant in a corporate boardroom or a natural disaster as they were in the ancient desert. Beyond mere survival, these scriptures offer robust ethical frameworks that resonate with universal human values. Principles like the Golden Rule, advocating for compassion and treating others as we wish to be treated, provide a foundation for cohesive societies. The persistent calls for justice for the poor and the marginalized, found in the words of prophets and apostles alike, serve as a timeless reminder of our shared social responsibility. Examined secularly, these are not divine commands, but pragmatic guidelines for reducing conflict, fostering cooperation, and ensuring the long-term well-being of the collective. They argue that a just society is a stable society, and that empathy is not a weakness, but a strategic strength. Adversity is a central theme, and the stories offer a masterclass in navigating it. When we look at figures facing immense hardship, we can choose to focus not on divine intervention, but on their ingenuity, strategic planning, and collaborative efforts. Think of the meticulous construction of an ark in the face of a flood, or the careful rationing of resources during a famine. These narratives highlight the power of human agency and collective action. They become allegories for problem solving, teaching us to analyze our environment, anticipate future crises, and work together to engineer solutions. The miracle isn't the parting of the sea. It's the courage and coordination of people moving forward against impossible odds. Furthermore, a surprisingly modern message of environmental stewardship can be unearthed from these ancient pages. The concept of being caretakers of the earth, when interpreted through a secular lens, transforms into a powerful call for ecological responsibility. It's an ancient acknowledgement of a finite world, where our actions have direct consequences on the land, water, and life that sustain us. This wisdom urges us to think in terms of long-term sustainability, to manage our resources wisely, and to preserve our planet, not out of divine mandate, but for the sake of future generations. It's a pragmatic and urgent appeal for a balanced relationship with our environment. In the end, by re-examining these ancient texts, we are not seeking to debunk faith, but to reclaim a shared human heritage of wisdom. We find that the Old and New Testaments contain more than just religious doctrine. They hold a deep reservoir of practical knowledge about resilience, ethics, and community. This exploration reveals that for thousands of years, humans have been grappling with the same fundamental questions of survival and meaning that we face today. By translating this ancient insight into a modern secular context, we equip ourselves with timeless tools to build a more just, resilient, and sustainable future, empowered by the enduring strength of the human spirit.
For millennia, humanity has chronicled its own failings, framing them as moral or spiritual defects. But what if these age-old observations of destructive behaviors are not just philosophical musings, but patterns with tangible, measurable consequences? Today, we look past dogma to see these actions through a scientific lens, exploring the evidence-based connections between common human tendencies and their real-world impact on our health, our safety, and the stability of our societies. Let's redefine these so-called sins for the modern world. We are not talking about divine judgment, but about observable behavioral patterns. Overconsumption is no longer just gluttony. It's a measurable pattern of excessive intake. Impulsivity, negligence, and unchecked aggression are not mere character flaws. They are behavioral responses that can be studied and understood. By detaching these behaviors from religious dogma, we can begin to analyze them as what they are: recurring human actions with predictable and often detrimental outcomes. The link between these behaviors and our physical well-being is startlingly direct. Scientific research has unequivocally connected dietary excesses and sedentary lifestyles, modern forms of overconsumption and sloth, to the dramatic rise of chronic diseases. The global epidemics of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and certain cancers are not random misfortunes. They are, in many cases, the logical endpoint of sustained behavioral patterns that prioritize short-term gratification over long-term health, a debt our bodies are forced to pay. This cause and effect relationship extends beyond our bodies and into our daily environment. Consider the countless accidents that occur every single day. A significant portion can be traced back to impatience on the road, the distracted attention of someone scrolling through their phone, or bursts of aggression in traffic. These are not just unfortunate events. They are the direct results of impulsivity and negligence. Each incident of road rage, or a moment of inattention, is a small-scale demonstration of how destructive behavioral patterns manifest as immediate physical harm and injury. When these behaviors scale up to a systemic level, the consequences become catastrophic. Take systemic greed and the relentless exploitation of natural resources. When corporations prioritize profit over safety regulations, or when societies collectively disregard environmental limits, the stage is set for disaster. The degradation of our ecosystems, the increased frequency of extreme weather events, and the devastating impact of industrial accidents are amplified, if not directly caused, by collective negligence and a short-sighted pursuit of gain. The fabric of our societies is also torn apart by these very same behavioral undercurrents. Sociological studies consistently show how envy, tribalism, and unchecked self-interest fuel social division and conflict. When we prioritize our in-group over the common good, or when a desire for what others possess curdles into resentment, we foster an environment of instability. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's the observable mechanism behind political polarization, economic inequality, and social unrest that threatens the foundations of our communities. Ultimately, we must recognize the profound ripple effect at play. An individual choice to overconsume, a moment of aggressive impatience, or a collective turn towards tribalism does not happen in a vacuum. These individual actions and widespread behavioral patterns are deeply interconnected, creating far-reaching consequences that scale from personal health crises to global emergencies. The line from a single poor decision to a societal setback is clearer and more direct than we often care to admit. By understanding these connections, we are no longer passive victims of our own nature, but informed architects of our future. This knowledge is not a reason for despair, but a call for empowerment. It fosters self-awareness and highlights our collective responsibility. By recognizing the scientific reality of how our behaviors shape our world, we can take deliberate, informed action to build more resilient bodies, safer communities, and a truly sustainable civilization.